I went from a team of 4 salespeople, hard closing prospects, to now taking 15-minute calls that more feel like onboarding calls rather than sales calls. The same exact offer, the same business, but just way more fun to run. And I did this without having to become a content creator, posting content every single day on every single channel 6 times a day, like every single guru is shouting at you right now. All I did was use something I call the trust loop strategy, and it's all based on 4 specifically architected videos that act as sales assets for you. Pre-handling objections, speaking to the right type of clients, and doing all of the hard work for you before you even jump onto a call. And in this video, I'm just going to show you how you can implement the same thing into your business. You've been lied to by the biggest gurus in the space, that in order to grow your business, you need to master objection handling, you need to learn your scripts inside out, you need to build a big sales team, you need to close harder and push people into sales. And to be honest with you, I believed that for the longest time ever. I built a sales team, I ran the funnels, I spent a shit ton of money on ads, and I listened to all the sales bros of just close more. And it did actually work. We were closing clients consistently every single week, but half of the ones who were closing weren't a good fit for our business. Because when you start convincing someone to buy something from you by using sales tactics, you're starting the relationship on the wrong foot. You end up signing clients you shouldn't be signing, attracting the wrong type of people because of the funnel you've built out, and 2 months later, you're dealing with nightmare clients, asking for refunds, not happy with the process, just because they've been convinced and pushed into actually working with you. And that really wasn't a fun business for me to run and for my team to be a part of. So let me show you what I mean. This is how most people sell. You run an ad, you build a funnel, and a lead comes in cold. And through your emails, through your follow-ups, you manage to get them onto a sales call, which is where you start trying to convince them to actually work with you. You objection handle, you send proposals, and you follow up more with them until you get a few yeses. Maybe they don't. And even if you do get yeses, a lot of the time, because you've used sales tactics and you've pushed them into working with you, and you have a crazy guarantee in your offer, you end up signing clients that aren't even a good fit for your company and for your offer. And your business, your team just becomes exhausting to actually run. Now, on the other side, here's what it looks like with a trust loop strategy. You have the same starting point where you're using ads to generate interest and leads, but as soon as a lead enters into your ecosystem, the trust loop strategy goes into play. We get them consuming our content that's strategically placed at specific parts of our trust loop in order to actually build trust before they ever start speaking with you. The trust is built and they show up to the call already sold. And we're able to do all of this by 4 simple videos that we use to manufacture trust and increase time on brand. The gap between those 2 lines, that's exactly what the trust loop gives you back. Now, before I explain how you can do this yourself, I want you to understand the underlying marketing principles and frameworks that allows it to work so well. There's 2 simple concepts, and this is exactly what they look like. Number 1, the first thing is understanding lead to purchase window, which means that's the time between a prospect raising their hand and showing they're interested in what you're trying to sell to the moment they actually pay you. And it's our entire job to shrink that window and get leads to want to actually work with us in the shortest amount of time possible. Now, in order for us to do that, the second thing we have to understand is something called time on brand. Now, this means how much of your content a prospect consumes and how long they spend in your world before they actually make a decision to want to actually work with you. So what the trust loop strategy actually does is manufacture this, which is we increase the amount of time a lead spends on your brand in the shortest amount of time possible, so we can get them to actually want to work with us, build trust with us, like us, in the shortest amount of time possible too. So here's a graph that explains exactly why this works so well. The bottom line is the time to purchase window, which is the time it takes for someone to actually make a decision to actually want to work with you. And on the line going up, this is time on brand, which is how much content your leads are consuming before they actually make a decision. So this is what happens with the majority of people running ads. When someone clicks on your ad and goes straight to a sales call without any content being consumed, they're cold. They don't like you, they don't trust you, and your trust meter is empty. Conversions will take months. Your sales calls will feel like you're trying to convince people and push people into wanting to work with you. Even if you do sign clients, the majority of your leads will never want to work with you because they'll end up working with someone in your niche that's creating content and that's building trust with them and providing more value than you. But check this out. Here's what the graph looks like when you actually use the trust loop strategy. People are watching your videos, they're reading your emails, they're seeing your retargeting campaigns, and they're building trust fast because we're manufacturing and engineering and hijacking the attention we want in order to be able to put our content in front of our leads in a way that's positioning you as the expert. By week 1 or week 2, you're already converting more leads than you would have been doing if you're not running any content. And once these booking calls, now they show up already educated, already looking at you as the authority, and already wanting to actually work with you because you provided value and shown that you understood their problem problem better than they did themselves. So the more time on brand, the shorter time to purchase, and that's the entire mechanism built around the trust loop strategy. And that's why 4 strategic videos beats a full sales team and beats you having to create content every single day. And I'm going to show you exactly how and why this works so well. The trust loop strategy was built because I looked at what was actually happening. I looked at the data. I had taken hundreds of sales calls at this point. I had all the data in front of me, and I knew exactly what our prospects were thinking before they ever got on a call with us. All of the objections, every limiting belief they had, every reason that they were going to say no, I already knew because I jumped on hundreds of sales calls with my prospects and I understood their problem better than they did themselves. And you're probably in a similar situation yourself. If you're running ads, you're jumping on sales calls, you know what your clients are going to object to. You know what their biggest fears are, what their pain points are, what they've tried in the past, why it didn't work. So all we have to do is, rather than wait for those sales calls, we can pre-handle them through these sales asset videos we're going to create. Because that's the exact thought I have. What if instead of handling those objections on a call, I could pre-handle them before? So what if I created content so specific, so targeted, that by the time someone booked in a call with me, they already believed, they already had the trust with me that I knew the exact systems they would need to be able to solve the problem that they currently have. So rather than having to hard sell them, we started pre-selling them. I learned a lot of these concepts from a book called Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. If you haven't heard of the book, you should buy it. And inside the book, he talks about how you can start selling before even saying a word to your clients in a sales conversation. And I implemented all of these techniques inside the trust loop strategy and inside these videos to make sure we can optimize and have the best results possible. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to break down the exact system, the videos to create, how to script them, and actually how you can start implementing them right away into your business. So the trust loop strategy is all built around these 4 videos that we call the sales asset pack. 4 videos strategically built to get your leads to like, trust you, and want to actually work with you by you showing them that you understand their problems better than they do themselves. Not 4 random videos, 4 videos created sequentially in an order that makes sense in their mind, that every single video pre-handles each individual objection and solves the main problems that they're currently going through. Now look, these videos are not created to go viral. We don't really care about them being super highly polished studio production. My videos combined have less than 2,000 views on YouTube, but have generated me multiple 6 figures in revenue, because views never really were the point. There's 3 components. These 4 videos are fed into what we call the trust loop system, and this is what it comprises of. It's us building a simple flywheel and content ecosystem that compounds and builds trust quickly. So here's what it looks like. We have our sales asset pack that's then fed into retargeting campaigns, that's then fed into our email welcome sequence, that's then fed into our email engine. And together, these 4 videos turn into a waterfall model where we can use them into an ecosystem that's constantly being fed to our clients and to our leads wherever they actually go. Now remember, these 4 videos, we're not doing any sales. We're just providing value and strategically creating content that's leading them to the next problem we're helping them solve. So once they jump on the sales call, they're actually ready to go. So the 4 videos are uploaded to YouTube, and this is where your personal brand lies. This is where the content lives, and this is the engine of the whole system. The second thing is the retargeting ads. Whenever your lead clicks on an ad and fills out a form or lands on a website, we can then follow them everywhere. Meta, YouTube, Google, every single platform they visit, we know where they are, and we can start hijacking their attention by showing these videos strategically to them on all of the different platforms they're on. And the next thing is the welcome sequence. The moment they opt in, they are going to receive emails every single day that's going to be sending them to these videos for us to be able to get them to consume as much content as possible. Remember, these emails are not there to sell, they're to create curiosity and to push them into actually watching the videos in full. And that's pretty much it. It's that simple. 4 videos using the ecosystem flywheel to build up the trust loop strategy where we can now get people onto a call that are already pre-sold. So at this point, you're probably wondering, what the hell are these videos? What are the 4 videos? What needs to be inside them and how can I actually do them? So I'm going to break down exactly what each video needs to be and how you're going to create your own yourself. So the first thing we have to understand is what are the 3 biggest pain points your clients have in order to get them to the desired outcome. Think of your offer as a bridge. We've developed a framework called the Bridge Builder Framework. I have a separate video entirely on this. If you haven't watched it and you're not sure about it, click on the link here. You can go to that video and it'll explain to you how you can build your own bridge for your own business. It makes everything way simpler. On the left-hand side of your bridge is where your clients are currently are. They're feeling stuck, they're frustrated, they've tried things that didn't work, and they have no idea how they're going to get to the desired outcome. On the right-hand side is where they want to be. That's the transformation they're after, and your job with your offer is to bridge that gap. So what we're going to be doing with the 4 videos we're creating, each video is going to act as a plank, which is going to act as one stepping stone to the next to get them to the other side. So the first video is going to be your unique mechanism. This is where you're introducing people into your world and you're going to explain why the old way fails, why why what they've tried in the past didn't work, and why your specific solution is going to be able to help them get them across this time. You're going to explain your story, and the most important thing is you're going to want to use language that they understand. You want to use their words against them inside your script so that you can answer the questions going on in your prospects' minds. Now, videos 2, 3, and 4, these are your pillar videos. Each one tackles one of the 3 biggest problems standing between the lead and their goal. And every single pillar video follows the exact same format. And what's really important to understand here is that you want to create these videos sequentially and logically. Meaning, what's the first problem you help your client solve? What's the second problem you help your client solve? And what's the third problem you help your client solve? It needs to make logical sense in your prospect's mind. So for example, in my business, I help people create a structured and a strong offer. I then show them how to actually generate leads. I then show them how to nurture and how to sell, right? So every single one of my videos is tackling the pain points sequentially, because once we get leads, then and only then can we know how to nurture and sell. So it's really important to think about the 3 main problems and the stepping stones for your videos to be sequentially. One problem is being solved, and because we solve that problem, the next problem can be solved, because now it's making logical sense in your prospect's mind. So here's the structure to follow for each individual video. Number 1, name the problem so specifically they feel like you're reading their mind. Not the surface level problem, the deep frustration underneath that, the thing that they've tried to fix multiple times in the past but never actually managed. The second thing is to show them why past attempts didn't work for them. Give them the permission to let go of the old approach, that it wasn't their fault and the method they were using or the process they were using was wrong. Now the third thing is to break their limiting beliefs that are keeping them stuck. Dismantle the story they keep telling themselves about why this won't work for them, with logic, with proof, and with empathy. The fourth thing is to introduce your solution as a logical conclusion. You don't pitch, but you start explaining why it actually makes sense. So by the time you get here, they've already done the work themselves. You don't need to pitch anything here or hard sell. You just need to explain why your solution is the obvious choice. And step number 5 is, throughout the video, always relate to your story and show proof from what you've done in the past, and if you have, client success stories that can actually help them build more trust and think this can actually work for them. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you click a link in the description, there's a link to my 4 videos, my playlist I have on YouTube that I use, where you can actually go into it and watch those videos to understand how I've positioned it, how it works, and study it yourself to understand how you can apply it to your business. 4 simple videos, and each one of them building a trust machine. As soon as a lead comes in, we can hijack attention to retargeting through emails and through content to be able to position you as the expert. So before they jump on a call with you, they already like you, they already trust you, and they really want to actually work with you. And that's pretty much it. Now, obviously, it's way more technical details to actually getting this set up on the back end, which is the retargeting campaigns, the emails, how to set them up on YouTube, how to launch them, how to script them. So if you want more help with this and this resonated with you, DM me the word trust loop on Instagram, and I'll give you all the information you need and show you exactly how you can set up yourself with more technical details. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.